you actually have 4 people in your roster, right? You are actually weighing who will I more inclined towards, right? And do you think that you can fully be yourself
Towards
to all those 4 people? Would that be more effective than doing that with one person? Because I think if your attention is divided, it's not the same as directing your attention towards one person. So it's like even with skills, if you're gonna be, you can have 10 things that you are currently doing and trying to be good at, but you're going to be 90% good at all those things. But if you take one thing and focus on it, you're gonna be 110% good at that thing. So that's where
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where you casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just 3 curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
in 3,
2, 1.
we're rolling.
81, man. I have 3 fingers up. Man, it's 1.
We're rolling. Welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
We back.
It's another one, man.
It's another Tuesday.
Another week.
Another bottle of Oros.
Yes, sir.
Another location.
Yes, sir.
Undisclosed.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the hills.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Somewhere in the hills, man. North side.
Close to the highway.
Hey.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the hills.
Yeah, man.
Big company, gents.
Yeah. You guys, we can just
Let's keep
Get
on
into
the
get
video.
straight. As you guys saw, there's this video I posted of this lady. Actually, that lady was in Lungelo's podcast.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah.
Engineer life.
Yeah, Engineer Live. Great show, check it out. So the lady was basically saying, I haven't watched the full episode for context, but she was just saying, Uti, as a person, she was talking about her experience, Uti. Her dating strategy is having dating multiple partners. No, not multiple partners. Multiple
Dates.
people. Yeah.
Going
When you date,
multiple
it's just
dates.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple dates so that she can be able to know what she wants and be able to choose from those options with who makes more sense to get into a relationship with. So I just wanted, and on the status that I posted, I actually asked for people's input on what they think on
The whole
take. The whole take on dating.
And what
the
were the
process of
most
dating.
of the most of the responses you
So
gave?
it was a balance. It was a balance, male and female, right? But one thing I can say, it was not a balance. More people actually prefer to give their attention to one person. Yeah, so it's the whole monogamy idea.
Situation, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I want to give my full attention to this person, and if things don't work out,
I'll find
I
someone
move
else.
on. Yeah, as Esther Parel says, Uchi, back then we used to date one person for life, but right now in this day and age, we date one person at a time. So that's the timeline of how monogamy has evolved. So most people actually said one person
At a time.
And that was both female and male.
Both female and male. Yeah, and gents were more concerned about at whose cost. If I'm dating multiple people, at whose cost? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
when are you one of the people
Yeah,
who actually was like, yeah, bro, I just prefer to have options.
Dude, for me, I feel like if you are looking for a partner, right? So you're looking for someone you want to commit to,
Yeah.
and if if you are looking for certain qualities in that person that you can't find, then obviously you go looking somewhere else, right? So my chat was it would make sense then to kind of weigh your options as to where you feel like to where
It makes more sense to be in a relationship with this person.
Yes, like find that person and like weigh your options before you get into the relationship, because you, like for instance, if I meet someone today and I automatically get into a relationship with them, what do I know about them for me to now say I think I can actually get involved with them romantically. So to a certain extent I kind of get what she was saying. She would rather date a lot multiple guys than just stick to one. But in the same sentence, it's also that thing you want to add whose cost. Because as a guy, obviously, if you're going on multiple dates, which you outlined the last time, we would say it's obviously at the guy's cost.
Of course, sure.
Because going on dates comes at a cost.
Sure.
You know, and then I responded and said, not all dates should cost the thing, right? You know. So in those cases, then maybe you can have multiple dates, trying to gauge who, like that show, The Bachelor.
Being given options.
Yes, being given options and all that, and then finally coming down to just that one. You know,
But if you look at life generally is about sacrifices. Choosing to be in a relationship means that you are sacrificing something. You are sacrificing what could be best that's out there. And same as with dating. I disagree with it, one of the points that I have is, besides the at whose cost, right? Is another thing is effort and attention. So the music, man.
And then it's showing him flames. It's showing him flames.
Uyenzani seshowing?
Azidlala music, ikhona.
So the one of the points being ukuthi you actually have 4 people in your roster, right? You are actually weighing who will I more inclined towards, right? And do you think that you can fully be yourself
towards
to all those 4 people? Would that be more effective than doing that with one person? Because I think if your attention is divided, it's not the same as directing your attention towards one person. So it's like even with skills, if you're gonna be, you can have 10 things that you are currently doing and trying to be good at, but you're going to be 90% good at all those things. But if you take one thing and focus on it, you're gonna be 110% good at that thing. So that's where I was coming from. Another point. And another thing is, do you actually trust yourself and the other person that you're not gonna involve yourself in? You guys are not gonna go through sexual intercourse, because that is the problem.
During that process.
That is the problem, because we are sexual beings, and culture here to say and we barely are able to take control over our sexual desires. So are you guys gonna be able to date just getting to know each other and not sleeping? Because sleeping is the problem now, because it clouds your judgment. It makes you feel like it's a hack to, besides that, it's a hack to speed up how you feel, how much you like the person, because you've created that bond. And so it sort of clouds your judgment.
You ignore things. Some of the things you ignore.
Exactly. So my red flag, my favorite color.
I think another thing is knowing what a date is, right? Because dating is getting to know someone.
Yeah.
You're not really romantically involved with the person.
Yeah.
When you're going on dates, those are moments in time where you get to know how the person is, who he is or who she is,
their values,
what they like, their values, morals, their moral compass, all of those
their
stuff,
beliefs,
right? Yeah. Those fall part of the dates.
And some people would add and say also sex adds to that, because I need to know whether I'm sexually compatible with this person.
You know, so which is what I was coming to. With knowing what a date is will then determine whether or not you as a female then draw the line, you know, because obviously some guys will want to go all the way, you know, be like, nah, third base. But third base how, when we haven't even covered the first base, you know? And then they confuse with being on the dates has to come with the sexual parts of relationship.
Sure.
But I'm still trying to get to know you at the point.
Yeah.
So why are we then getting to that point? Are you trying to know me sexually? Is that what this is all about? So you're going on dates with all of these people to get to know them sexually. And then what? Because now you know all of them sexually, then what? What is your choice, man? Because as Ntwana shoot, it clouds your judgment, right? So now you're probably gonna compare the sexual experiences.
Obvious.
You're no longer comparing personalities,
Age, yeah.
who the person is, and all of that, because you have this intimate experience with all of these people, and which we're saying, which includes your judgments and all of that. So in that sense, I don't think it'll be a good idea. The Bachelor. Not really like would I Bachelor but I've seen it,
Because the way so the way we bang no against our call, I'm just doing the option with maybe today uthatha lo cherry uphuma nayo yakudina dinner date, the new mazi, and one option ukuthi if afuna ukuthi amphile that day uyakhona and a bond
for workers,
yeah,
pillar in for workers.
ukuthi if afuna ukumusa emshinini uyakhona ngomdini. It's like bad. If afuna ukumusa
Those cowards and
That's why ngiyibuze dini manje le.
But then sengisho.
Why you bring all of that here?
No,
that's true.
Hey, mara bese ngisho ukuthi into engisho ukuthi une option ukuthi angakhona ukuthi kulaba abe involve sexual now. But manje even if asenjalo immediately maseke makayolanda omunye then ukhumbula ukuthi leya the way beyakanayo izolo masolanda lo uphina ubheke lo yasho ukuthi angithola so ucabelo yasamcabanga kuphela ngepersonal somcabanga nalento soyizwile uyabona then masenjalo ayithi very decision yakhe ayisabi one so bese nginyawo li1 uyacabanga ukuthi manje lapha lapha ngezwe izinto then usiyabuya landa omunye and it's one and the same thing so zuluthi manje manje kusasebenzini but at the end of the day zona lezi date I feel like akumelanga sinvolve
I think if we can say dating multiple people, as we mentioned in the previous episode, as girls you get approached by different people.
Guys. Yes.
So by maybe 4 different, 10 different, 15, 20, 50 different guys a month. Yeah, one. Sure. And you actually have to weigh your options. Say you are a single girl, you have to weigh your options with which one I'm going with. I mean, in that case, it's understandable, but you can have those talking stages on the ones that you see most qualify, not actually going out on dates, but having those talking stages to milk out the information that you want. But now the problem with having those options is that there's something called shit. What's this?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. When you I can't find this concept in my head right now, but it's when you are presented with a lot of options and you get paralyzed. You get paralyzed mentally because you don't know which decision to make because you have a lot of options. I just forgot.
Not an ultimatum.
fuck, no, nikoshiwe. But it's that when you are presented with a lot of options, you'll be
confused.
You'll be confused on what to choose. But when you are presented with one thing, you know, with okay, this is a tick, this is a cross. So you are able to make quick decisions there. Yeah, one. And there's another thing, the podcast I sent in the group, the Open Chats podcast. Those guys actually are doing great. So in that specific episode I sent, they were actually discussing about whether, as people, we can be able, specifically but as guys, you can be able to date, to love two women at the same time. And I found that interesting. I found that discussion interesting, and most especially that we are talking about this right now, in a matter of you yourself have these options, and then now you're left with two people that you see. This one complements me in this way intellectually, and this one complements me this way when it comes to peace. Like when I get home with this one, I'm able to be mentally stimulated, intellectually stimulated, because she's that person. She's academic in a way, or she's well informed. And then the other one on the side is like calm. After a long day, after work, you get to them and they just make you feel like home. You don't have to think a lot. You're just at peace. So you like both of those things. And then how do you decide which one to go with? Because that's going to happen. Even with women, you see most of the time when they cheat, you see that they'll cheat because they have this guy who brings them security. But when they cheat, they'll cheat with the guy that's good at
something else.
At something else.
So maybe something
Be
you
it
can't
they
provide.
bring in money that this guy doesn't bring.
Something you can't
or
provide.
this guy has money, but now sexually they are not satisfying them. So they cheat because the other guy can actually satisfy them. And you'll see it with gents as well. They'll have which is something most girls always complain about. You see, you have the wife material girl at home, and then you go cheat with a baddie or the fly chicks. And you see, okay, event, so you're actually going with this one because she has the looks, she's dressing a certain way. But with the wife material, utoga a certain way, she's only good for keeps, but the other one is only good for people to see you out there. So isn't this how do you decide okay, I have to stick with one person? Not that I'm saying monogamy is the way and it's actually practical.
I think ibuya lapha kuleya episode esiyenzile previous one. Esikhuluma la besiza ne-solution yokuthi yokuba nabantwana. La besikhuluma khona nge-solution. Ukuthi understand
the previous episode.
Yes.
Is it the previous?
Yeah,
no, it's
Last two before. Last of last week.
Yeah, last of last week. Okay.
Yeah. So la besikhuluma ngokuba nomntwana. Immediately then uyakhona ukuthi understand wena. Then uizwe ukuthi mawuletha umunye umuntu empilweni yakho ukhona wazi ukuthi bangangena then niba ne-conversation ukuthi nifunani then nenza kanjani. It's one and the same thing. Engasho ukuthi kule nto leyo ishoyo ayikho into endlule ukuthi understand and more move with intention. Ayikho into endlula leyo because ukhona ukuthi wonke ama moves akho the way sometimes ayikube perfect but ama move akho every time azoba calculative. Uyakhona ukuthi ucalculate wazi mangenza kaso then uyazi ukuthi move kanjani mawenza kaso then uyazi ukuthi yenza kanjani. So yindlela le for mina ngifila ngathi easy if maybe singakhona if maybe singabantu sikhona ukuthi move kanjani. Immediately if ngazi ukuthi ngenza something then ngenza kanje you understand ukuthi these are the results. Then for mina yinto engifuna ukuthi ngithole siphi isikhathi esirayo ukuthi ngi-executor maybe leyo nto leyo. It's one and the same thing yokuthi manje mangathiwa maybe ngifuna bese ngifuna umuntu like manje mangifuna umuntu ngifuna like umuntu serious because sometimes ungayitshela wena ukuthi ufuna umuntu serious but manje you are presented with so many options then iphele inyala then yokuthi wena ufuna umuntu serious so bona opportunity now yokuthi hayi man I think we like gaming because ngathi manje la kuyadlaleka. You understand because khona labo botshela bazokunika le nto leyo ukuthi badave like beze kuwe so then for instead ukuthi like uyi-check ukuthi no akusi-correct engiyifunayo leyo muntu but uyithatha as an advantage ukuthi awuthi ngiyisebenzise
get tempted
uyangithola then from there sobuyela then uba yiloya muntu lo sokhohlwa i-main goal bose kuyo ukuthi kahle kahle mina bengizelela ukuthi ngizofuna umuntu so abantu abakanje abengingazelanga yena so lo ngumuntu okhona ukuthi ume-excuse but maye awusam-excuse instead uyayi-entertain into ekanjalo already sofelile kuleyo situation so ayikho into endlula ukuthi u-understand ukuthi ngeze la ngizele na yinto ngifuna umuntu oserious so uma ngifuna umuntu oserious izinto into engizibhekayo sexually la sikhona manje kule age okuyo lesikhathi esikuyo ayeke ungitshela ukuthi usa-driven sexual ngaleyo ndlela than before manje sowukhona ukuthi uyakhona ukuyi-control not even if maybe it's not 100% but somehow uyakhona ukuyi-control understanding your goal ukuthi right now angizelanga right there into engiyizele ngizele ngifuna umuntu okaso
and also understanding ukuthi sexually right now we have so much education and so much open-mindedness that we can actually understand that sex is just a skill that we can teach each other on what we want.
Yes. So the only thing when kumele na uyenze ukuthi sex ngifuna i-sex ngibekele aside. The only thing ngifuna ukuyazi ngifuna i-character, personality yomuntu. Mawuphuma nomuntu lo let's say maybe in a case ukuthi as uNceba angikhona ukuthi nota mina ngavaya nabantu ababhaya so lokho ngihamba nabo ku-date uze ngikhona ukuthola lowo muntu loyo no but umuntu okhona ukuthi mawumbona usakhuluma naye iyakhona ukukunika lento ukuthi lo muntu ofuna ukumazi
sure if umuntu ozazi ukuthi ufuna
you understand isimple ukuthi leyo khona ukuyithola ayikho lento ukuthi ngiya 50 ukuthi ngisolo ngibhizi ngichoose even kune 50 umbingelela nje umuntu usakhuluma usathele uyakhona ukubona ukuthi le 50 ngicela ukueliminate lo awukaphumi nokuphuma na ku-date uyakhona nje just ngento encane then from there masokhona ukuthi eliminate lapho sele ngale option owazi ukuthi la ngifuna ukuba so mangiyimi ngiyazi ukuthi ngafuna one ngivaye naye already sengimbonile mangihlangana ukuthi lo ngakhona ukuphuma naye but manje masoya naye le nawe sofuna ukwazi manje the real person not the muntu ohlangane naye because sometimes angithi uyazohlangana nomuntu just maybe pretend for leso sikhathi leso but now sofuna ukuhlangana now with the real person behind the mask then ukhona ukuthi wazi loyo muntu lo then if then uyabona uyakusebenzela then that's when now you explore the option ukuthi yazi ufuna ukudayile ukuthi ngisika try ngiyathola ukuthi ngifuna ukuthi ube partner yami then from there it's easy for wena now ukuthi mase uthole lowo muntu then now you move and futhi sometimes uyenza ngama stage sometimes problem ukuthi izinto seyijaha then uyenza nge stage uyavaya kuye ku date then u check ukuthi okay today ngithole ini nani and lento kanje nanje ku
So I think sitholile conclusion yethu. No singayishongo directly but from our point eswenzile.
Sure.
Ukuthi we partially disagree with what she was saying ukuthi date multiple people, figure yourself out, you learn a lot about yourself. But if you are doing that through not actually going out on dates but actually talking to those people, like having those talking stages via phone, video calls or whatever, maybe that is the best route to go about it, but not going on dates actually.
Yeah, actual dates.
Because when you go on a date, it means that you have committed to something. It means that you have cut your list short from all those people that I've been talking with. This one, I deserve to go on a date with because it looks like it's worth it. And then you see what's what
works for
maybe
you.
that part you can, if she mentioned it in that way, maybe it does make sense.
Yeah, no, it sense and that.
Yeah, I mean, you've already stolen the words out of my mouth, dog, in terms of like the whole talking to multiple people. I'm not against that. You can talk to multiple people with the intention of going on a date with one. That would make sense to me. If you are talking to people just to shortlist that list, you just want to go on a date with one person, provided that you have obviously compared from personality to personality, right? You can even, I think I mentioned earlier that you can have a social experiment. Ask the same questions to all of them, see what kind of questions, like maybe have a list of like 5 questions, based on the kind of answers you are expecting, or that will kind of help you shortlist, and then decide from that, okay, who actually would manage to go on a date. Like have your own bachelorette or bachelor type of setup going, you know, before you go on the date. Because I feel like when you go on a date, then your mind is already made up on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that point, then you can then decide whether you want to go all the way or what.
Yeah.
You know, but not if you're doing it with multiple people. Then I feel like it's even tricky cutting them off. If you found that person, like what then? Let's say okay, now you have to choose between us three. But it was entertaining us. Okay, we all took you out on dates.
Yeah.
All of this
created some form
exactly.
of bond.
Everyone has kind of left a mark on you.
Yeah.
How are you gonna now tell me and SK you know what? Hey, I think grand I found someone. You know, and obviously I didn't know that. SK didn't know that. You didn't know that.
And I understand as spendanga futhi ngokufana.
Yeah, boy.
Sometimes nje izinto ezinjengalezi akusizinto ufuna ukuyilose.
Exactly.
Ngonile ukuthi SK ulose makuza ukuthi makakhiphi. So umuntu ofuna ukumbeka la ukuthi ngelelanga mofuna i-free meal kube right.
Yeah, well, so I feel like it makes things even harder for you, the person also. Now you've gotten used to all of these people, which you don't need anymore because you have found your perfect suitor. But it's hard because you have formed these relationships. You've even went the whole way and became intimate with them. You know, so now you've shared a spiritual side or an intimate side. You've left the mark, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, how do you do that then?
It's friend zone.
It's not really friend zone. I'm out of petrol.
It's just a way of creating backups.
Yeah, one. So
because you already know with if things don't work out with this person that I've chosen, it's fine. I'll go to the other one because yeah.
It's crazy.
Last words?
I think you need to
yeah.
From me.
Yeah, as we always say,
take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take care of your pockets. This is the Empty Street Podcast, and we're signing out. Dabei am Aslache ist nein Mame. Lambi. Kumuli nyao.
Mega vegetarian boy.
Hey, he's been vegan and veg.